Well, guys, it's been a minute. It's it's been busy here lately. Sorry I haven't been making many videos. Work has gotten crazy, and I've had a lot of life changes that are actually going pretty cool. Opening new chapters in my life, and along the way, I've been able to make a few acquisitions, new things that I'm testing out. Most of it I've been able to test on duty. Luckily, the nature of my work, I can choose pretty much whatever I want to use, with a few exceptions. And so I have almost complete free reign on testing new types of systems, developing my own stuff and my own procedures for evaluating equipment. And I have come to love the lights from Streamlight. Streamlight is hitting all the marks in this industry. And not just this industry that I work in, but it's hitting the mark for a lot of people. They offer a great product for a competitive price, and they're pushing the boundaries of what's possible with lights these days. It's really cool to see a company innovate. Now, there's a few people that will give me crap for using these lights because they're not American made. I get it. I want my stuff to be made in America as well, if I have the opportunity. And you can see some American made items in this frame right here. I have a Shadow Systems. It's the Foundation Series MR920, and I have either the beloved or infamous, depending on who you are, PSA Dagger. And so far, these things have been pretty neat. Also, the main subject of this video is to kind of showcase the TLR7 HLX. I think everybody has been waiting. Well, not everybody, but myself in particular has been waiting for a compact light with basically what could be equated to full-size performance. The TLR7X, which I had the TLR7A. I never had the TLR7, the original one with the different switches. I'm glad I never went with the TLR7 when it first came out. But the TLR7A and the TLR7X, great improvement with the switches back here. This, as far as a stock switch, that's a great switch, straight from the factory from Streamlight, versus the TLR1 HL. It's okay. It's a reliable switch, reliable light, but I've always felt that the switch has been lacking. And one of the reasons why is because when you go to grip the gun, a lot of guys, they have the grip similar to this. A lot of times, a lot of people these days use these gas pedals. A lot of guys make modifications to their Glocks and other firearms to have this gas pedal, and it's a great way to get control of the gun. But if you want to actuate the weapon light, see how much? It's almost an inch of movement. And I'm modifying my grip, and you see that little. I have the tendency to roll the gun to the left, and it kind of jumps it over ever so slightly to the right. Don't get me wrong, you can train around this. Don't, if you have this, don't just drop this and, get rid of it and buy yourself a new light if you don't have to. But if you want to, I think if you want to improve the usability of these lights, I really think that Streamlight has figured out the special sauce. First of all, like I said, this switch straight from the factory is not bad at all. I can get a very consistent grip. I don't have to move my finger ever so much, or at least I'm probably moving my thumb about the same distance, actually, if I'm looking at it properly now. But the switch is a little bit more intuitive. You're not having to push a switch down like, what is that, a quarter? Yeah, quarter of an inch or so. Whereas this, you are almost pushing forward and into the light ever so slightly down. You're just doing that in order to actuate the light. And if any of you have never seen a TLR7X or any of the TLR7 or the TLR9, which share similar switches, you have this switch right here where you can click it once and it's on until you click it again and then it turns off. Or it's a momentary by clicking it but not letting off of it until you're ready to let the light go off. It's a great switch. The TLR1 HL, this side, you can't, in order to actuate it, you have to do that number. You can't just hold it like that. You have to kind of either flip up or flip it over and do that push down with your index finger. It's a simple switch. Like I said, it's reliable. It's never served me wrong. But I think this right here is an improvement. And not to mention it's ambidextrous, so it's literally the same, especially for left-handed shooters or if you're switching hands, if you train to switch hands. This is a great setup. It allows you to not have to worry about remembering which side you have your switch on. So this gives me more advantages. It's slightly higher up as far as where the switch is, and it comes with a lower switch as well. It's another one that you can literally swap out. You just push out this little pin right here, or at least push it out slightly, and then you can swap out the extra one that they have from the factory. I don't have an example of it next to me, but you guys would see it when you buy these lights. Now, for the longest time, the TLR7A, and now, which is basically what Streamlight is switching to, is the TLR7X. It's a great size, especially for, this is basically a Glock 19 size frame. It comes right up to the edge of the gun, and it's great for concealed carry, and especially in my industry, you know, I do executive protection as well as other things. So having a compact light on a gun like this, that, you know, it's a great product. And you know, for a lot of people, this is going to be the answer. Not to mention that this is compatible with their rechargeable batteries. So, and what's weird is it didn't come with a rechargeable battery. But the next product that I'm going to showcase is the one that I really have been excited about. Like I talked about earlier, is the TLR7 HLX. This actually did come with a rechargeable battery in it. It's the same size as a CR123, and it's USB-C rechargeable. And like I said, this one right here is 500 lumens, and I can't remember the candela on any of these, but it's all of these have very good candela for the size of lights that they are. This one, like I said, it has full-size performance and a compact light. Comes basically, you know, this is basically the length of a Glock 17 with the Radiant Afterburner ramjet. So it's going to be flush, kind of similar to what this is. A lot of people like this design, and I do too. Aesthetically, it's pleasing, and it also helps. Now, unless you want to stand, kind of like a makeshift standoff device, you might want to go something a little more this route. This is almost acting as a standoff device for this particular firearm, but it is a little close to the muzzle. So, with that compensator on it from Shadow Systems. The TLR 7 HLX is becoming my new favorite light. Not to mention, I found these switches from Emissary Development. They're nice little upgrade switches, where basically the switch offers a little shelf right here that pretty much acts as a gas pedal. You know, everybody's modifying their guns. Even manufacturers are putting these gas pedals on the side of their guns and grip texture and stuff like that. Well, this skips that process and upgrades the switch, and I don't have to change my grip at all. When I actually present my firearm, I'm right there. I don't have to worry about dropping my finger down from the gas pedal area if I was going to modify this frame any further. You know, that's a little something extra movement that they've eliminated with this switch. Now, they have a longer version that I've got on the way that I wanted to try out. They finally had it in stock. So, I'll try that out, but it may add a little bit too much length. I like having my trigger guard pretty clear. So, you know, we'll see if I like it or not. I don't want to knock it without trying it first when it comes to these types of things. But this switch is very nice. It almost looks like a high-quality 3D printed part. Like, it's nice. I have some other 3D printed items around here somewhere, but I may show them off in a later video. I've been playing around with some optic covers and stuff like that. Some of these companies 3D print those type of things, and very nice products. It's with a better polymer than your traditional 3D printing, and this stuff is actually able to hold up very well. But I am very excited about this light. You know, you can fit it in a shorter holster than a traditional, well, not a traditional necessarily, but duty holster like this. This is actually a Glock 34 holster from U.S. Duty Gear. It's similar, not the same as a Safariland, but it does use the 3-hole pattern. I have the G-code universal RTI hanger adapter, and this is actually a tourniquet bracket from U.S. Duty Gear that they make themselves, or maybe they contract it out, but it's made specifically for their holsters. The regular Safariland tourniquet brackets will not work from RDR gear. So good on U.S. Duty Gear for offering that, at least purchasing from in-house. But this right here, you know, is actually designed for the TLR 7 or TLR 9, which is another light. It takes two CR123s next to each other, just like this. But guess what? This one's fatter, at least as far as the profile, and this is the same, basically the same profile as the gun. So what this offers, especially for these compact lights, it offers you a narrow profile with full-size performance, and I can't get enough of it. Eventually, I'll get a upgrade switch from Emissary Development and switch all my compact versions of the TLR series. They are doing some really good work over at Streamlight, and they have a great warranty policy. And you know, I've had some things happen, and they made sure that I got it taken care of right away. I've never had an absolute failure from Streamlight. I actually had a copycat Streamlight that I bought it from a seller off of eBay. I won't tell his information, but I actually sent it in to Streamlight, and they said, "Hey, this is a counterfeit." I said, "Really?" And they said, "If you want, give us the information of the person that you bought it from, and we'll get it taken care of for you. I was like, okay. So I gave them the information, and they sent me the light for free. I don't remember which exact light it was from Streamlight, but the fact that I bought somebody else's product that was a copycat, and Streamlight still, you know, honored their warranty service even for a counterfeit. That's how much they stand by their product. And of course, you know, they won't lose too much from giving me a light like that. And plus, they can also help, you know, with that, with the information I was able to provide them, you know, they can help get some of those counterfeits off the market. And so, yeah, I really like this compact light series. I even have the rail-mounted light versions on my long guns, and I do like them. But I also have this that I'm going to put on a build of mine. I'm trying this one out. I haven't ever used this particular one from Streamlight on a build yet, the ProTac. I like the performance that it has. It's a lot like let me get it real quick. Bear with me for a moment. Yep, here it is. It's a lot like this old ProTac right here. I put the theorem switch on it. It's nice. I use it for duty all the time. Actually, a gift from my cousin. This is what turned me on to Streamlight. And you can see how much mileage it has, and it's still going strong. I love this light. So I'm excited to try this out, but I have been seriously waiting for this particular light for a while when Streamlight teased it. I think they put this larger bezel on the TLR 7A, and then they finally released this. They had to change a few things with the electronics in order to make it work properly, get the proper performance without it dropping immediately as soon as you put the high lumen bezel on a light that's not meant for a high lumen bezel. So I talked with somebody about that, and the engineers had to make sure they engineered it properly in order for it to not lose performance. Now, here's another thing. These two lights are phenomenal for what they are, but there are some drawbacks compared to running this light. Okay? So, these two lights, I know for sure this one, the stats are that you can run it for half an hour at full brightness. And I think it's similar specs on this one, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit shorter, I don't remember. But this one, you know, that's a short time for a full performance light. Where this one, I think it's around an hour continuous, so it's literally cutting it in half. I mean, you have two batteries in here, which makes sense. So that is a drawback, you know, and it depends on what your role is. You know, if you have a good primary light, handheld light, you may not have to worry about it too much. You may be able to get away with compact lights. Honestly, I think, you know, for concealed carry role, 500 lumens is fine, but for duty role, it's really not. That's where this is kind of a sweet spot for, I think, what is going to be for most of the industry going forward. This was a great little compact light for what it was, for what it is, and still would be pretty damn good option for most people. But I think for us guys that do a duty role, this is a very tempting option. You have a compact light, like I said, with full-size performance. I mean, yes, the run time is not that long compared to something like this, but it's got a rechargeable light, and if you just, you know, you can always have spare batteries on hand. That's another thing that I just now remembered. And just letting you guys know, I know I didn't say it at the beginning, but every time I am messing with a gun, it's cleared. There's nothing in it. So that's another thing that is a drawback to this older design. It's a good design. It's very I've never had one of these fail on me that was not a copy. I think it was a TLR 1HL that I actually bought a while back that was actually the counterfeit, now that I remember properly. You have, in order to change the batteries, you have to take the light off the gun and flip this little cap back here, and that is a potential failure point. You see the rubber seal? That's a pretty big rubber seal that's exposed, and that can wear over time. So these lights are a major improvement as far as machine work wise and, you know, just overall design. I honestly think these are a superior design in general, not to mention lower profile, if you see that in comparison. So it's not that much of a difference, but especially when you're doing something where you have to conceal it, it makes all the difference. I mean, look at the two holsters that I have right here. These are not necessarily holsters I use for work, but especially for concealed carriers, you can definitely see what I'm talking about. So these are both TLR Arms products. This is the Ragnarok. This is the Ironside. I really like this holster for what it is. I bought it for the Glock 17 and the TLR7 HLX. I actually bought this particular TLR7 HLX from TLR Arms as soon as they were one of the first people to actually carry this light. So I bought it the day that it dropped. And but you know, I got the holster from TLR Arms, and it was a little bit longer than a Glock 17. I guess if you have like a threaded barrel or something, maybe it would help with that. But honestly, and they actually have a version where it's a closed version. But you know, if I have a longer gun, I want to be able to run it. You know, if I'm testing out a new setup and I don't want to switch out the light, you know, that's kind of why I wanted this holster. So I just made it even with the light, and it's perfect. It's now perfect. So it protects the gun enough, protects the muzzle. So yeah, it's a little bit further down, but I'm not worried about that, especially from a concealment roll. But anyway, these, you see how small this is in comparison. This is a full-size duty gun. And if this was like a Glock 17 or something, you see how bulky that is? Now I know, yes, this is an outside the waistband holster, and it's got a Safariland, oh shit, what is this particular, the paddle holster, the paddle attachment that you have from them. It's okay, and it gets the job done. But this right here is a much more manageable package. You know, you've got the full-size light. It's bulkier. It's longer. You know, it's a little more manageable right here. I mean, look at the profile. It's like you shaved 1/3 of the profile off. So that's a pretty significant improvement, in my opinion, as far as concealability. Like, I carry full-size guns all the time, concealed. I mean, yes, I like the compact guns, you know. Without the compensator on here, this is great little gun to conceal. So, you know, weigh your options, guys. If you're wanting all the bells and whistles with the extra length, you know, as far as like performance and battery life, and kind of best of both worlds as far as profile, yeah, definitely go with the TLR 9. Great option. If you're wanting completely compact light, not a TLR 7 sub, you know, but you want a good light that you can be confident with concealed carry, this is a good light, especially when you're doing a Glock 19 frame. But I think this is going to be the sweet spot for a lot of people. You can still conceal this just fine, you know, since it's not that much longer of a light, you know. I can even put this. I have another lower with another TLR 7 HLX. But, oh, I need to probably do this off the screen. YouTube probably doesn't like it. But you get that. So, you know, imagine this frame was on this rail, you know, with this light. That's really nice. And it actually kind of acts as a slight standoff device. I wouldn't necessarily use it as that, but it's a, you know, you never know. So, weigh your pros and cons. I think you could do worse than this stuff. I really am enjoying these new offerings from Streamlight. Also, I'll go more in depth on this build right here if you want a compact gun that has some modularity if you're on a limited budget. Turning this into this type of system, funny enough, is actually cheaper than buying a Glock, buying a Radiant Afterburner ramjet, and doing all the modifications that I did. You can have that with the Foundation series from Shadow Systems for a lower price. This is the Foundation series from them. It's literally the same price as an MOS Glock last I checked. It may have gone up since I last checked. You guys can comment down below and correct me. You know, hindsight's 20/20. But I really think that the market is unfortunate. You know, like, I do love the track record that Glock has, but there are some people that are putting Glock to shame when it comes to features and everything else. I mean, I have 2 Shadow Systems guns. I have 3 Glocks, but I also have, you know, I have other things. The PSA Dagger is pretty cool. Though, you know, the machine work is okay. Like, I'm not mad at it, but there's a few spots where I was like, okay, they could have done better. But, you know, for the price that you're getting this for, it's hard to beat. And I'm still testing this out. So, you know, the more testing I get, you know, this might actually be a really good option for a lot of people. If you know, it seems to be reliable so far, but I'm not going to say that completely. You know, if it's made by human hands, you know, it's not as good as you may think. I know Glock wants to say, you know, Glock perfection, but there's a lot of companies out-glocking Glock. And of course, you know, it happens with patent laws. You know, their patent laws expired on the Gen 3, so, you know, there's a lot of other people that are innovating when Glock is kind of staying in the past and sometimes doing things that, I don't know what Glock does sometimes. I love Glock when it comes to reliability, but, you know, ergonomics, I have to modify it in order to get the same ergonomics that I'm getting with this gun. This company is out-glocking Glock. There, I said it. Get as mad as you want. But I trust my life to this gun just as much as I trust my life to this gun. I mean, all 3 of these guns right here are very high. They're accurate, and they're highly reliable. And I don't think you would be ill-served with either of these 3. And I'm starting to believe that this one is, you know, giving some of the other Glock clones a run for their money. I mean, look at the features that it has. And I did buy this aftermarket, you know, magazine flare magwell. I can't even talk now. But you get what I mean. There's a lot of companies that are starting to eclipse Glock. Glock honestly really needs to step up its game. Like, guys, you filed a patent for a carbine. Where's the carbine? I know it takes a few years, but come on, guys. Everybody's starting to take your lunch money, and everybody's starting to notice. Come on, Glock. I know Gaston passed away. God rest his soul. But I'm hoping that whoever's running Glock right now can see where the market is going, that we can get the same Glock reliability with their, if we can get a really cool, innovative product from Glock with the same Glock reliability as before, they will go another 100 years plus selling firearms. It will be amazing in all kinds of products. It's not just firearms. I know that they sell. So none of this really matters if you don't actually get out there and train. So guys, invest in yourselves. Invest in dry fire. If you can't get to the range that often, I still do dry fire along with going to the range. I do dry fire daily, especially when I can't go to the range. You know, sometimes my schedule's that busy, but I try to go at least once or twice a month to the range. So get the fundamentals down. None of this matters if you don't train and actually know your weapons platforms. You know, train your mindset and just do the things, guys. You know, I'm excited for all these things. I'm going to continue evaluating these things. I'm really liking these two setups for my work. And, you know, optics these days are kind of synonymous with pistols. It's amazing. It's an amazing time we live in. We're kind of living in a golden age of, well, we're kind of living in the golden age of striker fire pistols right now. Everybody is coming out with something that, you know, everybody's like, hey, this might be the next Glock killer, you know, or this might be the actual real Glock killer, you know. So Glock better step it up. I love Glock, but, you know, I still run their magazines and all of my firearms. So that should tell you something. Glock is doing something right. They just need to step it up, you know. So you guys have a good one. I'm going to be trying my best to do more videos. And, you know, even though my schedule is a little more busy, I'm trying to make a better effort of doing some other things that I've been wanting to do for a while. So keep coming back. I'll have some more content coming up, guys. It's good being back, and I'll see y'all later.